Grant has now joined up with the rest of the group, but he's being very coy where the manuscript is being kept. Whilst they're all staying in this house, the news comes on, and Grant has been accused of being involved in a shooting at a school. They seem to have faked the CCTV camera to make out that it was actually Grant that did the shooting. However, we know that it's a henchman that did it. This was a highly controversial scene, and Ofcom received 33 complaints. During the shooting, the henchman started to think about his own childhood. One of the children had a box of raisins. Now, we've seen him tuck into raisins on numerous occasions. Becky tells Grant that she'll wait for him to disclose where the manuscript is when he's ready. However, Jessica is a lot more persuasive, and she tries to make out that they've got something akin through their lack of childhood. Jessica takes Grant to go and collect the manuscript, but because now everyone's looking for him, she disguises him as a goth. The remainder of the group contact Milner at the MI5. She agrees to meet them at a nearby chapel. However, they are followed by a man with a gun. Having been unsuccessful in getting a sample of the vaccine, Michael heads to the Shetland Islands. He's going to get a sample from one of the victims and take it to a scientist called Donaldson. Milner saves the group at the chapel from the man that followed them by shooting him. She says that they must go and find Alice, because that's where Jessica will go. Becky thinks everybody wants the manuscript because it will disclose who Mr. Rabbit is. Milner thinks that if they can find out the identity of Mr. Rabbit, then this will all end. Arby turns up at Alice's school, that's Grant's girlfriend, and once again pretends to be a police officer. He asks her where the manuscript is, and they head back to her house. Jessica and Grant are already there, and they've got their hands on the manuscript. They're hiding in the bathroom when Arby arrives. Once Alice says she can't find the manuscript, Arby shoots the social worker and then her mum. Frightened for the safety of Alice, Grant discloses that they're in the bathroom. Jessica hides some of the manuscript on Grant and then does a deal with Arby. Jessica hides some of the manuscript on Grant and then does a deal with Arby to let Grant and Alice go in return for the manuscript. Holding a gun to Jessica's head, Arby takes the manuscript, and he asks her why does she want it. Jessica says she wanted to find out who her dad really was. Michael returns home from the Shetland Islands and hears voices in the front room. It's his boss, Jeff, the minister, and his wife talking. Once alone, Jeff lets Michael know he knows what he's been up to and asks him to hand over the sample. This Michael does. However, Jeff warns him that if he ever does anything like this again, he will kill him and his wife. At the end of the episode, as Jeff leaves the house, Michael pulls another sample from his pocket. After the violent school shooting, right at the very beginning of this episode, I think it's one of the first times there's a little bit of a lull in proceedings. However, there's still all the revelations that we've had in the previous episode. I think it's getting really hard to tell which characters are good and which are bad. Jessica is a character that's a little difficult to warm to. However, all the decisions she makes make sense. Milner, the lady at the MI5, I'm also unsure of. However, her advice has also been good so far. And Arby is beginning to question what he's doing and why.